Hey, and welcome back to 1000 Details. Today I'm gonna show you my live setup. And this video is all about why I built this, why it's this way, and how do I use it to do live improvisation. Because when I play live, it's always live improvisation. I barely prepare anything. I only have a few sounds that I selected on the Digitakt, and all the rest I do it on the spot. So, why doing live versus DJ sets? After a few years, or many years I would say, of playing DJ, and since I do music by basically jamming on the studio, I thought, well, I'm having more fun jamming and creating my own things than playing DJ sets. And it made sense to try to replicate what I do at home on a live situation. And I have to say that it's much more thrilling, and in ways you can express yourself way better. You're hearing right now playing the Digitakt 2, the first choral, going through the Zone 96. Let's start with the basics here. Here we first have the Digitakts. It's my drums, let's say this way. It's where I build all the rhythm for my live. And why 2? Well, again, explaining a little bit this DJ mindset on the live, it's because I want to build one track here, and when I want to go to a new thing, I'll transition from Digitakt 2 to Digitakt MK1, so that I can build 2 separate tracks and mix them together. And basically what I have set up here currently, nowadays, that I have the Digitakt 2, before I had 2 Digitakt MK1s, is on the Digitakt 2 I'm using the first 8 channels, and I'm controlling them with the Fader Fox MX12. And with the Fader Fox MX12, I'm only controlling 6 of these channels. So from 3 to 8, and here the same, from 3 to 8. So I divide this at the middle, and I get 6 channels for Digitakt 2, 6 channels for Digitakt MK1. And normally I have my kicks here, my bass lines, either a one-shot bass line or a bass line loop, claps, hats, percussion loop, perk sound, one-shot perk sound or synth sound, depends, and my rides. Here exactly the same, but with the addition of the second layer of sound, so even more tracks, so 8 more tracks, I'm adding a little bit more spice onto this. And normally I'm doing here some low-end percussions, some more percussions here. I'm doing here a grid machine where I put some loops and I break them and I play different parts, so to add a little bit more of texture and a little bit more of I won't say randomness, but different sounds, stuff that is not as strict. And normally around 13, 14, 15, 16, I play with either with vocals, or I add an extra loop of percussion. It depends. But my main focus is on the first 8 channels. And why I don't have control on 1 and 2. So as the same way as I produce, kick for me is the foundation. So I just need to set it up at a level that I like and pick a kick that I'm happy with. And for the bass line, I just need to level it to a point where both of them are fixed and sound good. And more other than that, I just might pitch up and down the bass line and compose something on the sequencer here for the bass line if it's a one shot. So those 2, I don't need to control them because they're all gonna always be there. At most, if I need to do something, I either use the filter on the Zone 96, as you can hear now, or the EQ. And I'm more than happy having this. All the rest I want control, because just like doing a track on the studio or a track that you hear from a DJ player, it's I am able to do fade-ins and fade-outs with each sound, and also have immediate control. So the thing is, if I wanted, for example, let's say I have here, let's bring in my percussion loops and let's bring them with a cutoff. So I just activated them. So let's say that I want to play with this. If I wanted to play in the Digitakt 2 at the same time with my percussion loop 5 and 6, I will have to change pages, and this will be very stepped, not that natural in my opinion. Whereas with this, I can play at the same time. And this also allows me to mix properly with the track coming afterwards, which I'll show you in a bit. So this is why the MX12 is kind of important for me to control everything. It allows me to have hands-on control and not need to change pages on Digitakts. And of course, this makes things flow in a much better pace, in my opinion. So this is the rhythm section. Occasionally I might throw one-shot synth sound in here if I need something, or if I need to be rescued from some hole that I'm in my head. I have this around here. Then we come here to the eurorack case. It's an IntelliGel 62 HP palette, which is small enough to have a very decent system here, just to be told. So, and for this I have two Oxy Instruments chorals. Why the choral, you might ask? So the choral is multi-part, multi-timbral, polyphonic synthesizer. It's basically a one voice. It's a full voice synth in a small package. I have various algorithms here. It also has a sample player, which is very good, and I basically can build anything with this. I have various types of synthesis that I can tweak. It's only 3 knobs. There's a little bit of combos, but the combos that I might use here, it's just basically to set up the amount of CV that I want to affect the filter, and maybe the reverb and the high pass filter. It's basically that. I don't need to do much more than this to produce good sounds. And the same philosophy applies here. I have 2 Digitakts, I have 2 Oxy 1 chorals. And in my head, it made sense to have one pair of the same, because when I'm playing live, I want to be fast to create stuff. I want to immediately bring things without having to change my mindset from one machine to another, which happens even if you are very used to it. So this way I'm at home. And this is the first choral with the first Digitakt. So 1, 1, 2, 2. Simple as that. And I can just play with this. I have my filter here. And I have some effects here from the effects set from Happy Nerding. More than good to add some movement, some mangling to the sound, which is more than fine. And what I have in addition to those 2 voices, to bring more movement, to make it less strict, let's say, because when I'm building something new while I'm cueing on the headphones, I want things not to be that static. So I have here the Introoo crate, which is a modulation module that I like a lot, because I can draw my own curves. So I can basically just put to record, and let's do it. And basically I can just build something here. And I want to affect this a little bit more. And voila! It's that simple. I don't need to think much. I just know that, oh, I want to open more, close, open more, or just whatever. And if I don't want to design anything, I have an LFO here and a random modulation source as well, if I want to. And then up here I have the One U Ornament and Crime from After Lecture Audio, which it's all-in-one module with a lot of algorithms. And in my case, what I use the most is the shredder. This is from the Phaserville firmware, which shredder is basically Noise Engineering Mimetic Digitalis, simpler, not quite the same, but it goes there, which add me stepped modulation. If I want to, for example, CV some parameter on the aux, like let's say the timbre or the morph, whatever, I just bring it in, add it up, and it works incredibly well. And it's quite random the way that I use it, so I just double click here and I have a few steps. It's a little bit trial and error, but I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to dig in stuff, because that's an important thing. Is when I'm playing live, I don't want to be spending a lot of time trying to build stuff there, here, and here. So it really helps me. And then to control all this, so let's do it like this, right? So control all this that I have here, I'm using the Oxy1, which is a fantastic sequencer. It's basically a do-it-all sequencer. I'm sending just clock to the electrons from the Oxy1, so this is my master clock. And then over MIDI, I have two sequencers here, 1 and 2. As you can guess, 1 is 1, 2 is 2. And I can build stuff here, be it a monophonic voice, be it poly, be it chords. I can do it here pretty fast. I use a lot this in two ways. Either I start something that I already have in my mind and I know where to put it, or I use, so it's three ways. I do random sequence and then I adjust what I want, or I basically just play things here. And when I play, I just play and then record that and I get my sequence, which sometimes it's much faster and better. And like this, I have a very deep but easy control on all my setup, which allows me to be fast. Because one of the things that's really important when you're playing live is to be fast enough to create another track to bring in. This is not the 100 meters run. This is a marathon. So I do take my time, but I also want to be able to build up and build up and build up. And to finalize everything, I have here these two, which are my FX/Finalizer section. So the Endorphins Ghost is basically my transition effects, plus the first step of, let's say, making a good mix and a good sounding package. So I just use a little bit of the distortion here, and the compressor, which is very, very clean, and this is something that I want. I don't want stuff to color my sound as it is. I've already used plenty of color in the machines, so I just want that thing to be tight and be as transparent as possible. And then I have my effects here, my reverb and my delay, which I'll bring, for example, if I want to do here a transition. Basically, I can do like a riser kind of thing. And I did a transition here, or a break. It's very easy to do it this way. And in the end, I have the Golden Master in 1U, which is a module that is a compressor, EQ, and mid-side, so stereo image tool. And what I like about the Golden Master, and this is funny, it is the mid-side processing. So I always cut my stereo on the low end, because many clubs are mono still to the day, and I apply a little bit of extra compression on top of my things, just to make sure that if I, for example, put something too loud or too high frequency, it will put it down again. All this it's coming from the master send from the Xone 96. So I'll talk about it. So I'm sending the master send return here to the Ghost first, and from the Ghost it goes into the Golden Master, and the Golden Master back to the Xone 96, so that I can affect everything going on here. So it's pretty much it. A lot to take in, I guess, but it works for me, and that's the most important thing. So when you're planning to do a live show, and if you're planning to do live improvisation, my first recommendation will be to basically find tools that you are, of course, happy to use, and you know them. Know them to a point where you're able to basically use them as an extension of your arms. And this is what is happening here. So I put a lot of hours, not just training for performing live, but also because I do my music a lot with those instruments. And I think I said it in the beginning, my idea is to transport my home studio, the way that I do music at home, to a live situation and just perform, because the only difference that it will exist between me doing music at home, composing and then jamming and recording that jam, and doing it live, is that I have to mix a track. So I have to do one track, bring another one in, mix them, and loop and repeat this until my time is over. For me, the first thing for playing live improvisation is having fun. Go there. Of course, you'll be a little bit nervous until you do the first mix. That's the same for me or any DJ, because I felt the same as a DJ as well. So, and after you're past that, you basically will embark in a journey, something that will happen just in that moment, and it will make sense in that moment because of the surroundings, the people, and that's what I like to explore with the live improvisation. I'm gonna adapt to the place, to the people, to my mood, to the moods, and it's something incredible, at least for me, and what I feel. Before we go into more performance stuff, I want to just touch on two topics: pros and cons of this, and changes. So the pros of this setup, and it's also a con, is the size. It's small enough. So that's one pro, it's small enough, but at the same time, I will even love it that this will be smaller. Another pro is that I'm able to replicate what I do at home on the venue, and that's very good. Cons about this, well, first one, the size. So this is like an oxymoron, right? Because size is good, but size is bad. For me, it will be even better if this was smaller enough, because it will make me set up much faster. And setting up fast, it's something that I really appreciate, because when you're playing clubs, the normal thing is majority of they are DJs. So I want to just get out fast, so to leave other people to play their own stuff and not have to be hanging there and well, making a fuss out of it. So that's a con. It's still, I have to connect 1, 2, 3, 4 things plus this. I timed it, and I can set it up around in 9 to 10 minutes, and I can unpack in around 5. Because when I'm unpacking, I don't care about the cables. Just pull them all, and put them on my bag, and done. I'll then arrange them later on. Future changes. I would love to change my Fader Fox MX12. Not because I don't like it, that's not the reason, but basically because it is too big. It's too big in terms of height and even in size. Are there other solutions? Yeah, you have the smaller Fader Fox. The other idea that I'm thinking, it's the Intech Studio controllers they are modular, but still, if I want to replicate this, I have to have at least 3 rows of them, and the knobs. So it will not be as chunky as the FaderFox MX12, but it will be much wider, I suspect, and taller in terms of deepness. And okay, it's fine, but it's more space on a booth. Something that I found out with experience is you want to have the smallest setup possible, because many times you're playing on DJ booths, and the booths they don't have enough space to set up as you want. You still have to leave a CD player there or a vinyl there for the other guy coming in, so it's messy. So for now it's this. Let's see what the future brings. Maybe there's, I don't know, let's see if some other brand brings something new. If FaderFox creates back their series micro modules, I don't remember the name, but they were quite small. And another change that I would love to do in the future is adding up the aux instruments meta module. I say this because after I saw it at Superbooth and heard some stuff, it really is one knob action to do transitions. And perhaps what I'll do is I will put it around here, maybe still have the ghost to finalize with the compressor and saturation, and avoid the Golden Master. Because I do like the Golden Master, but I feel it colors sound a little bit too much for my taste. I can set it up in ways that it will be okay, but still, it's not totally up to my taste. So I'm gonna add that because it's really fast, it sounds really good, and it has something that really appeals to me, which is a looper, and it goes backwards. So I can do those typical boom of techno stuff. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you the time that I take to do something new. So I already have here something prepared, okay? So I'm gonna mix this to this one, which is already here, and then I'm gonna build something new on the Digitakt 2. So that you can understand that you can build really fast and proper. Sometimes you might take a little bit more time, but for me the real struggle, even today, is calming my head to think, oh, I'm playing something that I'm not hearing currently on the headphones. I don't want it to be that static. I need to add some movement for that things to appeal to people. And I already have the time perception on my head. I do know what is 3, 4, 5 minutes without counting. I have more or less the idea, but still, you're always like fighting your inner self to say, be calm, things are playing, just open and close the filter or bring in the hats, remove the hats, while you're building the other one. And many times you're basically just struggling there like, oh, come on, fast. You can take your time. It is funny, it doesn't piss me off, but it's really funny. So, and I'm gonna try to replicate it here because I don't know what I'm gonna put up next, and we'll see. So, let me show you how I mix this and how, it's an example how I could mix this. So I will remove my kick from the second one. I will make sure that my percussion loop will be more or less not full on playing. I'm gonna check here, I'm gonna just cue on my headphones how is this sounding. And this is feeling okay. So I'm sorry you cannot see my Zone 96. I need a wider lens to do this. But I will start to bring in the second Digitakt, right? And you can hear it coming. And I will just smoothly, like you don't need to rush this, in my opinion. Just like a DJ set, let it play out, let it sink into the people. Not my best mix. And when I'm gonna introduce the new synth, and my bass is a little bit too loud, but it's fine. Whatever came out up here. And I might play something with this, and now what I want to do is I'm gonna really fast cue onto this one and try and change things here. And trying to find cool stuff here. Okay. And I got something going on. Remember that I have to do something here at the same time. Go back to my cue. Record something really fast. And we have something here, and I can play with all of this. And now I could bring my other track. And I don't need to use transitions all the time. Those one when it makes sense. That's it. You can do quite a lot of fast things here. And pleasing sounds. You can even use this for a break. And voila! I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. I hope that I inspired you as well to perhaps play live and perhaps experiment with some stuff you have at home to, would I be able to use this to play live? This is my method. Any questions, leave it in the comments. Tell me, how do you play live, if you play live, and what is stopping you to playing live? Leave it in the comments. I always look at them and try to reply. And I just want to thank you for your time. And if you like what I'm doing and you like what you hear in this channel, please like and subscribe. It will help me and will help continue bringing all these videos. And check my Patreon as well. Have a good time, day, weekend, whatever, because this is coming out on Friday. And see you soon.